of mine is a caterer, and she loves to use granite pieces to serve all of her food and to display them. You know, you can stop by granite yards, and a lot of times they throw these away. They come in so many colors, from Ubatuba to St. Cecilia, and they have fossils in them and a lot of cool texture. But before you put them on your furniture, you don't want it to scratch. So you want to add some rubberized stoppers on the bottom. So you take some of these and you place them all around the bottom. That way you're not worried about them scratching. Now you can display your food. You can add cheese and crackers, and it makes a wonderful display. So the next time you drive by a granite yard, maybe you want to stop in and pick up a few slabs for yourself and use it for your table display. Well, you may be wondering, you know, we always like to give you resources where to get everything on the show. And if you like that idea of those granite pieces, my good friends over at Smoky Mountaintops over on Trousdale, listen, they've got a huge bin of these things. So any color that you could possibly want, go by and see them. They have a good showroom as well. Well, this next guest, she is a beautiful lady. She's a mentor. She's a teacher. Literally, she's a good friend, but I learn so much from her every single time, and I'm so glad to have with me Shirley Horowitz of Davishire Interiors.
Denise, thank you so much.
Well, you are just a wealth of knowledge. I feel like I could just sit at your feet. I came to your house. I'm so excited. We're actually filming your home. Oh, you are in for a treat. We'll let you know when that's coming out. But I love the fact that you are so knowledgeable about everything on interior design.
Well, I like to know something about the things that we're using, not just that it's pretty or that it's a nice shape or it's a nice size. I like to know what it is. And one of the wonderful things about using antiques in design is that you talking about being green. I mean, it is the height of being green, reusing pieces. So that's one of the reasons that I like to read about what I'm doing and read about some of the things that are going into our designs.
And your designs, let's talk about that too, because you're with Davishire Interiors, and just tell people a little bit, in case they haven't come by your showroom, tell them what you do. Well,
we do full interior design service, literally from the paper, the idea, to the completion and the installation. We do draperies, we do
custom furniture,
all kinds of window treatments, custom furniture. We accessorize. We have wonderful paintings and things like the things that you're getting ready to see now. We have great tables, and they're not antiques. We have a very transitional look, brand new showroom, and we use the antiques as accessories usually with the other pieces of furniture that we order. And we also have a museum. I mean, not a museum. We have a we have an art gallery. We have an art gallery on the first floor now too, which is fun.
I know, and you know what I do like about it is you have so many transitional pieces there on your showroom floor. I mean, literally, you can do some cash and carry, but some of the art pieces are just one of a kind. I mean, you're not going to see them everywhere, and some of the people, and you really like to research that.
Right.
Now, what we're talking about today is something that so many people wrote into us after you were on showing boxes.
Oh, wonderful.
And these antique boxes, you've added some to the collection, but tell me about using boxes in design.
Well, again, you use something that does look good, that has the right proportions, that has the right size, but you also have something that you can talk about. In other words, this is a wonderful melon-shaped box. It's beautiful. It's 18th century. It's called a chinoiserie box because it has all this delicate painting on the top.
Right.
And it was done by Chinese. They would paint on black lacquer or brown lacquer or burgundy. And this happened to be a tea caddy. So it had a lead interior and then the places for the tea.
I love that. And that's one of the things you were saying is collecting boxes in different shapes, sizes, colors. I mean, it really adds to the interior. You can use it in so many ways.
This would be so pretty on a chest with a sculpture, because the lines of the sculpture and the size of the sculpture, then the simplicity of the box would be good.
I'm going to tilt that up so you can see the top of that box. Look at how pretty that is.
It's so, the painting is so fine.
It's very, very intricate. Now, we've got a couple of pictures too that you wanted to show.
Okay.
This is actually, the box that we're seeing here is very unusual.
This box is actually a 16th century pirate's chest. We call it a pirate's chest. It might have been a chest for just, for a company, but it actually had combinations. When you lifted the top, there is a set of combinations. There were about 7, and we had the combination to it, and we actually opened it once. It is extremely heavy. It's a very, very, very thick wood, and iron inside and iron bound.
When you open that, was there a pot of gold? I mean, that would be perfect for today.
But all of us were there at the event of opening it.
Oh, how exciting!
But it was fun. It was not fun for our delivery people to move it around and to deliver it.
Yeah, and you're seeing it again in the setting, because one of the things you're trying to let us know is you see these beautiful pieces and you think, well, how can I use them in my home? And this is a good representation.
Well, also looking at that photograph, that was actually a log cabin. It was a log cabin that was done around the late 1700s, and yet we used contemporary furniture or transitional furniture, which is what we have been using a lot lately in these last few years.
Right.
Our whole showroom is with transitional upholstery, and then you have that wonderful antique box used as a cocktail table.
Right, and it's a great combination. We have another beautiful box here. Tell us what this is.
Well, first of all, it's made of satin wood. This beautiful, beautiful satin wood, and then it's bound with this little bit of black inlay, ebony inlay. When you open it, you'll notice it becomes a desk. It becomes a writing table, a writing piece.
And this would be from what?
This is an 18th century box, and it still has its little inkwell and places for the pens, etc.
And this actually opens, and oh, what have we got in here?
Oh, we have a key and matches.
Oh, we've got somebody's name. Oh, sorry, people, we're not trying to reveal who you are.
So, and then there's a drawer on the other side.
This one, and
that one is a real drawer. This is a fake drawer.
No, I have a fake.
Actually,
is mine a fake?
Does open. It's supposed to.
I'm not going to pull that open.
You know something? Jackie took my glasses. Now open it. Yes. This is a little brass pin that fits inside and locks the drawer.
That's what locks the drawer. I knew that. I was like, okay, I am not going to tug on this antique piece. Yeah,
right.
That's great.
And that's good. That's
okay. Now you've got some beautiful pieces behind you. Now, one of the things that you say is when you buy a box, if there is something inside, don't leave the box closed. Open it up and show what's inside the display, because that's actually part of the beauty of it. I mean, you want to see if there's beautiful glass pieces, if it's a desk. Always show it actually opened and display it all open. Now you've got some more boxes for us.
Right. This is another one that is a great stacking box, and what I mean by that, if used on a chest or on a cocktail table, you could always put something else, a smaller bowl, a shell, anything that's too small to be shown by itself.
Right.
This gives it weight and gives it size. So we really use this almost as a display. But actually,
oh wow, look at this inside.
It was a tea caddy, and the tea was placed inside here, and then these were liqueurs, and this was a mixing. This was a mixing bowl.
Oh, this is a mixing bowl right here.
Where you could mix your teas.
Oh, look at that mixing bowl. Now, seriously, we don't have mixing bowls like that anymore. That's beautiful.
And then these are just absolutely gorgeous for liquor. So I guess liquor and tea. What else could you want?
Liquor and tea. Well, show me the one behind you, because I really want you to open that one. Can you open it right there and show us?
I can.
Okay.
Now this dates back to the days that we did not have ambulances and we did not have huge hospitals, and it was difficult to take the patient to the doctor. So the doctor came to the patient, and these are all medicines, because of course he had to take his tools with him.
Well, yeah, that's pretty nice. Show up with all the drugs. I'll have a little bit of that. I'll have a little bit of that.
This is a traveling drug case.
And you can see that it is empty.
Well, actually, it's not. It still has its drugs in it.
Oh, it does? Oh,
yes,
hey.
Yes. And they're all labeled. And then again, one of these little drawers. You know, the English loved, and the French loved boxes and putting things into boxes, fitting things into boxes.
And I love the idea that you were talking about stacking. You can use boxes in so many ways when you're in decorating, but you can also use boxes to stack things. So maybe a box is not very, it's just more of a plain box, and you want to put something decorative on top of it. That's a great idea as well. And also buy them in good condition. That's one thing that Shirley has taught me, is whenever you want something to keep its value, you want to make sure you get it in good condition. What do we see here?
Okay, now right after we talk about stacking, this is one that you would not want to stack on.
No, because it's rounded at the top.
It has a beautiful, beautiful shape. And of course, you can see that this has brass inlay.
Look at that. That is gorgeous. Ooh.
Now, this is a very special box because it's...
Look what's inside.
Well, yes, it has some type of game. I have no idea what it was, but all the
Look
little
at all
pieces.
the game pieces. How fun. What kind of game is that?
I have no idea.
Oh, if any of our viewers are watching and they know what kind of game this is, you need to let us know.
Now, this is beautiful because it also would be pretty to add just a little touch of color. If you look carefully between the brass, you'll see that actually is red tortoise. So,
red tortoise. Wow.
Red tortoise.
And you really can't get that anymore.
No. And you can't even import it unless it's antique like this is.
Right.
But this is called Boule, and Andre Boule was the designer for Louis XIV. And he is the one who actually thought of this process called boule work. And Louis XIV had desks and chests and all kinds of wonderful furniture that was made out of boule work. And the boule work is the process of taking a brass sheet and cutting out a design, and then when you lift that cut out design, you would place it on a piece of wood.
So it would be an overlay.
And then it would be an overlay, and then you would take a piece of tortoise and you would put the tracing, this piece over here on top of it and cut out around the tracing again.
Wow.
And so you would have boule and contre boule, which would mean the first piece of brass and then the tortoise that was behind that. Then on the second piece you would have more tortoise, and then you would have the tortoise where the brass is, and the brass where the tortoise is.
Wow.
So in other words, boule and contre boule. But it was usually done on red tortoise.
Wow, what a gorgeous vintage piece. Now, are these pieces that you're showing today for sale at your shop?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So you can stop by Shirley's place and see
and buy
all
something.
These. Yes, why not? And you've got a few more over here. Let's see if you can reach that one. Okay.
This is a wonderful little liqueur box. I think somebody has locked it. Let's see.
It's all locked up. The liqueur box.
There we go.
Oh, look at this.
And beautiful little bottles. Liqueur. And of course it is lockable because you had to keep things locked in those days.
You gotta lock up your
safes,
liquor.
and liquor was very important, as well as tea. Tea was also very important. Then I also want to show another little box, the little black box over there, Jackie, on the end. Again,
and you can
really strange little box.
You can put this one right back over there. Let me hand that to you. Oh, that's an interesting box.
Denise,
what in
this
the
is
world?
unfair. I'm going to ask you, what do you think it is?
I will have to say it looks like an elephant's foot.
No, but I think that's a very good guess. I think it's a very good guess.
He was decomposed.
This is also sort of a man's box.
Oh.
You also look inside.
Is it a horse's hoof?
No.
Is it a piece of stone?
No.
What is it?
This is...
You got me intrigued.
This is a dinosaur vertebra.
No.
This is a dinosaur vertebra. And many of the men in the 18th century would go on these wonderful tours all over the world, and they would go to Africa, and they would go to just various places, Egypt, etc. And they would bring back very masculine but very, very interesting things. And this is actually a dinosaur vertebra. Then the hinge is ivory. Once again, you can't bring these things in today. You don't want the elephants to be killed. But this is something that was old.
That is just amazing. And I think the thing about that is, I mean, that's definitely a masculine box.
Oh yes, yes.
I mean, can you imagine back then, and your husband came home with a dinosaur vertebra? Hey, honey, guess what I brought home from my travels? Well, you would figure out a way to use it in your decoration. Oh, this is gorgeous. Now,
Isn't
what
this
are we
pretty?
seeing here? Yeah.
Okay, now you're seeing chagrin. Chagrin,
Yes.
S-H-A-G-R-E-E-N. When I was here before, I brought a beautiful little table, a little side table that had a pale blue chagrin, but it was faux chagrin.
Right.
It was a false chagrin. This is the real thing. This piece was done by the Chinese. It's iron, metal bound, but the chagrin is actually shark skin.
Right, right. And this is actually shark skin. And another reason that we would want to keep antiques like this, you know, this is going to stay green because, you know, obviously you want to keep passing this down. So one of the things that I wanted to let you all know, thank you so much, Shirley, for sharing about the boxes. You know, unfortunately, we're not going to get to all of the boxes, but can we show this one last, just the top of this one really quick? We got to show it real quick.
Penwork, where ladies would paint the design on top in black. I mean, they would put the outline in black and then leave the surface.
Thank you so much, Shirley. I know that you all enjoyed that. We'll give her information just coming up. But listen, I want to tell you about Foamworks. It's one of my favorite companies that if you want to insulate your home, you can get in touch with them at 590-7856. And listen, don't forget, we give away the party favors when we come back.
This is a